What is up, guys, and welcome back to another day of Whitley Auto Works. Today we're jumping right back in where we left off with last video with the Camaro. I've got it completely sanded down with 240. Found all my booger spots, and we're going to keep on rolling, prepping it and getting it ready for paint. I got a little help here today. My wife is joining me, so we're going to try to knock this out. A lot of this is going to be quick time-lapse stuff so I can speed through it, because I know ultimately everybody wants to see the paint, and I do too. But yeah, so what we're going to do is I'm going to kind of stop in between time lapses and everything else and just kind of show you certain things. But other than that, guys, we're going to roll on and get through this and yeah, get it ready for paint. So let's get into today's video. Guys, so as far as showing you guys filler work and stuff like that, now a lot of this car I'm just going to be tackling with dolphin glaze over some of the old bodywork repair areas, mainly because I don't want to drudge up a bunch of old problems. If it ain't cracking through and if the bodywork's still good on it, I'm kind of letting that go. However, what I'm not letting go is this fiberglass hood, and it's very tricky to do fiberglass if you haven't done it in the past. You saw that crack on the side. It had a little piece on top of it. Went ahead and broke that because I'm going to do a fiberglass repair on it, and you want it to actually get deep in the repair so it actually grabs a hold and bonds with it good. I am going to use long strand fiberglass. You can use short strand. The difference is it's a lot thicker material. This is just what I have, so I'm going to use this. You saw me use the tape to kind of cup the area because you're basically having to reshape and remake the area the way it was before. This stuff mixes up pretty much exactly the same way if you've ever mixed up Bondo or dolphin glaze or any kind of putty where you get a golf ball size of material, a pea size of the hardener, and that's pretty much how you mix it up. I've done other videos showing Bondo mixing, but anyways, I'm going to mix some of this up. I'm going to put some in the area, and we're going to kind of focus first on this fiberglass hood, and we're just going to keep going all over the car. Fiberglass over this hood, dolphin glaze over this hood, dolphin glaze over the car, and cue the time lapse. Alright guys, so this is the after product before filler. Now as you can see, I got the body cap back in there and I tried to line it up. Now before, like this whole little section right here was rounded off and chunked and missing. As you can see, I still got some low spots. That's where the Bondos will come in. Also to fill up some of those sand scratches. And you want to kind of block it out first so you can get a smooth transition and a little bit of dolphin glaze. And then of course guide coat it and everything else afterwards. But all in all, for a quickie little fiberglass repair, I think that'll do the job. Alright, let's keep going. guys, so fast forward a few hours later, you saw me and the wife sand the car. All the bodywork repair areas have been done with dolphin glaze. Everything's been sanded down with 240 grit, cleaned really good, prep all, and taped up. Now we're ready for primer. I'm using Rustoleum automotive primer in the can today. This is the rusty metal primer. You can get it at Walmart for like $5, I think. It says you can wet or dry sand it, so we'll see how long it takes to dry. I know a lot of people have talked about Rustoleum primer in the past. Some like it, some don't. Either way, we're going to try it today. With the exception of the clear coat, pretty much everything and the acetone, everything's Rustoleum products for the most part. So anyways, guys, I'm going to stop yapping. It's time to shoot some primer. I'm going to get to it, and let's go. Alright guys, so the primer is done, and I've used some of this black spray paint. You can see it's all over the place as a guide coat. I'm sure if you follow any other YouTubers and seen any other paint videos before, you've seen them use spray paint as guide coat. So when you wet sand it, the black goes away with the primer, and I will show you any textures or anything that's on the surface. That way you can get it super smooth, or if you got any imperfections in your bodywork, this will show you right here. And then you can go back, fix it, reprime, and you'll be good to go once you wet sand it. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. I got to wet sand the whole car, and then we're going to jump over to the bumpers, sanding, and more sanding. So I'm going to get this knocked out, and we will catch up in a few. Alright guys, so it's finally paint day. The Camaro has been overhauled, a lot of body work's been done on it, and it's ready to be sprayed. So let's jump in to what we're spraying it with today. Alright guys, so this is the materials we're using for today's paint job on the Camaro. I've chosen to go with a safety blue base. I think that's going to get me really close to the pearl I'm using, which is actually a blue pearl mica powder. I was going to go with some eye candy pigment. I ordered electric blue. I know a lot of you guys remember the little teaser I put on there and had you guys vote on it. I found out that was the neon pigment, so that was a little mess up on my part. I don't think he wants the neon pigment on his car. So I've got this blue mica powder. You might remember it from a past video where I actually did a review on the SPEEDOKOTE clear over there. But today we're not using that either. I got this UPOL clear I'm going to try out. This is the UP 2992 spot clear. It's the panel clear coat system 2.0 European clear coat. So I never used it before. It's a little bit cheaper than the SPEEDOKOTE. It's probably about the cheapest 2K urethane clear I found. So I'm excited to see what it does. I'm sure it'll be fine. And of course I got my clean strip acetone. You guys know I always stem my Rustoleum paint with acetone. So game plan with this is to do the Rustoleum first. We mix it 60-40, 60% paint, 40% acetone. I'm using it just for a base, guys. I'm not trying to wet it out. Just using it simply for coverage. So we get complete coverage with this blue, and then the clear with the pearl does all the magic from there. And that's the game plan with it. I'm going to start with the Rustoleum, and then we'll move over to the pearls and the clear. And yeah, let's get into spraying this thing and get it done. Alright guys, so excuse the fan, I got it running in the background. A lot of you guys say, you need ventilation, why don't you have a fan? I do have a fan, guys, you just don't see it in most scenes. The car is blue, it's based in blue. I did 2 solid coats of blue throughout the whole car. That safety blue actually covered very, very well, so I'm very happy with it. Let me kind of walk you around real quick. And then I know I have a lot of people that always ask me the same question. How long after you spray your Rustoleum do you apply your clear coat? Well, I'll wait 45 minutes to an hour till I can touch it and it's tacky and it don't pull paint off of my finger, and that tells me it's ready to go. With the spray paint, it's going to dry a lot quicker, but when you're shooting it through a gun, the professional series in the cans, they actually dry a lot slower, which actually works to your advantage. But it is a hot day out today, and technically I shouldn't be spraying, but I said screw it, I'm going anyways because I'm trying to get this video out for you guys. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, help me out. But anyways, let me walk around the car real quick and then we'll jump on into the clear coat because I know that's what everybody's ready to see. Alright guys, so I'm using this UPOL clear today. It mixes 4 to 1. I got a whole gallon of it, obviously. I got a 100-gram jar of this blue pearl. Like I said, I was going to use the eye candy stuff, but I'm not going for neon. I'm just going for a really cool, pretty blue pearl color. So typically, for a whole gallon of clear, you want to use about 50 grams of pearl. I'm going to try splitting it today. So I'm going to do a half a gallon with 25 grams of pearl in it. And I'm going to try to use the other half just straight clear to seal everything. If I need to use more, then I'll do more with pearl coats. It really just comes down to coverage. You have to just kind of eyeball it. And when you're done, you're done. I mean, I've actually done it to where I put pearl in the whole gallon and it turns out fine. It's more like a single stage paint job at that point because the pearl's in the actual every layer of clear. But regardless, guys, I'm going to get to mixing. Let's get to spraying. And let's see what we get. Let's finish this paint job up. Alright guys, I know I said I wasn't going to measure everything out, but I forgot I got these little measuring things. And I'm going to measure it out best I can. It's not going to be 100% exact. Pretty much 2 of these is 28 grams, which is kind of what I'm going for, around and about that area. This is the blue pearl I'm using. So I'm going to do 2 of these in half a gallon of clear, and that is 1 tablespoon. So basically 2 tablespoons into half a gallon of clear. So like I said, this ain't going to be perfectly exact, but all right, there's 2, and let's get it stirring. See what we get. Alright guys, real quick before we close out the video, you can see the pearl, it's there. I don't know if you can see it at the angles. I'm trying to get you some good angles. So it's very hard to see, mostly because I matched the pearl up to the color. So I tried to go with more of an OEM finish with this one, guys. And you can kind of see it. In that too. Obviously, we're still not done with the car. It's going to need a good cut and buff and all that fun stuff. And we still got to finish putting it back together. But that's the paint job, guys. Alright guys, so that's where I'm leaving off on the Camaro build. I wanted to finish this episode in the shop, but if anybody else knows, we're in North Carolina and we got our storm moving through and it's raining like crazy and I got a metal roof on my shop, so you guys couldn't hear me worth the flip anyways. But now is the fun part where I do all the talking and explaining how everything went and all that mess. Basically, what I did was I started off, as you saw, doing all the body work, the repair, and everything else. I finished up with 400 to 600 grit wet sand. And you saw what kind of finish I got out of it. I used a brand new UPOL clear that I hadn't ever used before. My thoughts on that were it worked good. It's very comparable to that SPEEDOKOTE. It's a little bit thicker, which is kind of what I'm used to with most auto body clears. It is a little bit of a softer clear overall, I think. It's taken a little bit longer to dry than some of the other stuff I've used, but, you know, that's just how it is when you're shooting 2K urethane clears over Rustoleum. That's just one of the things. Sometimes they do take a little bit longer to dry, and other times they dry just like normal. The SPEEDOKOTE clear seems to be a much better drying clear overall, but it is also a lot thinner of a clear than the UPOL, and it tends to want to run a lot easier. So just be cautious. Obviously, if you are going to do a Rustoleum paint job, you definitely want to use a 2K urethane clear so that you get good UV protection and so that it holds up long term. Other than that, you just shoot Rustoleum without it, and that's what you get. Alright, so up on screen now, I'm going to throw pretty much a whole rundown of what I spent on this overall paint job. First was the UPOL kit. That come in at $81. Not too bad at all. It was about $10 cheaper than the SPEEDOKOTE clear, which makes it run-of-the-mill, the cheapest 2K urethane clear coat with UV protection that I've found thus far, that I've used anyways. The pearl itself, I got that on my Amazon store. Y'all can pick that up. It was actually very cheap. It was 100 grams for $9. So if you believe that, it's you can use more expensive pearls. Obviously, you saw me put it in the clear. I did end up putting it in the whole gallon of clear. But that's where that was. The Rustoleum gallon, I got it from Lowe's. That was right at $50. And, of course, the acetone to thin everything and to clean everything with. That was another $20 for a grand total of $160. Now, getting back into this whole thing, a lot of people are going to say, you didn't include the Bondo, you didn't include the fiberglass, you didn't include any of the other stuff, sandpaper. No, I didn't. This is pretty much a rundown for how much the paint stuff materials are. Now, I could have done this job a lot cheaper, actually. Everything the same, except for I only really used 2 quarts of paint because I just used the Rustoleum for coverage, and I could have got by with half the amount of acetone, because I would be using half the amount of paint and just a little bit of cleanup. So actually, paint material wise, I could have got done cheaper, but then you can also add in the cost of other stuff. And if you decide to follow the same process I used in this video, you can actually do it with any other pearl. And that's how I always do my pearl paint jobs. Yeah, I start off with the base, I lay it down. I do about 20 minutes between coats. Depending on the temperature outside, then I let everything settle for about 45 minutes to an hour till it's tacky to touch, but not pulling paint off of my finger. And then after that, I start applying my clear coats in about 20 to 30 minute apart increments. You just, like I said, you got to touch the tape and really just test the tack out of everything. That's pretty much what I go off of. I can try to give you guys the time, but depending on where you live, the humidity in the air, the overall temperature, it's going to change things. So it's one of those things, as you're painting, you just got to keep an eye on it, guys. And just like I said, touch it for tackiness and just make sure you're not pulling paint off. Obviously, door panels weren't on those final shots. I had overspray on the exhaust tips. I forgot to cover them up. I'm going to get that off. I still got a lot of cleaning to do to the car. It's by no means ready to go out the door. I think Dad wants to cut and buff it, so maybe me and him will both be in an episode. That'll be fun to do that. So a lot of things in store with Whitley Auto Works, guys. More than less, this was just a fun rundown of what it typically costs material-wise if you want to do the bottom of the barrel budget paint job of Rustoleum, but actually use decent quality stuff. Like I said, you can cheap out and go cheaper. That's no doubt. And obviously, it's more expensive stuff out there. You can go automotive and everything else. But either way, guys, if you made it this far in the video, I do hope you will like, share, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out tremendously trying to grow this channel so I can do fun stuff like this all the time for you guys. But nonetheless, I appreciate you for watching today. If you want to buy any of the stuff you saw me use today, the clear coat, the pearl coat, links will be in the description. As seen on YouTube, takes you to my Amazon store. You can purchase everything there. I get a small kickback, but it doesn't cost you guys anything extra, and you get all the benefits of Amazon Prime and everything else. If you want to buy the paint or acetone, the Rustoleum stuff, you can get it at your local home improvement store, your Lowe's, your Home Depot, your Tractor Supply, and even Walmart's carrying stuff now. So links will be in the description to what you can get from me. And I appreciate you guys for watching today. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm John from Whitley Auto Works. Hope you have a great day. God bless. And I'll see you guys on the next video.